have entered the realm of dead air. For the next 2 hours, you will be transported into the world of the strange and the supernatural. You might not feel the need to cleanse your laptops or mobile devices afterwards. But it might not be a bad idea.
Hey, what's up, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to Dead Air Live on the Dead Air Full Spectrum channel for our Sunday show. 8 o'clock has finally hit, and thank you guys for all joining us in the chat. We are simulcast with KGRADB.com, KGRA on Facebook. Always as a reminder, and I think I'm going to say this a couple times throughout the show, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, the bell as a reminder for upcoming content, and a thumbs up as you guys join us for the show tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and keep looking for those thumbs up in the corner of the box there. So welcome, guys. Thank you. We're excited for our show tonight, and we're going to be jumping into it here in just a few minutes. I'm wearing my tropical shirt because of the big hurricane coming our way. It's going to be terrifying. It's a storm.
Dress for success.
When you're here in Florida, unless it's a high category 3, it's a storm. It's a day to do, cleaning on the inside of the house. You can't do outside. So any of you that are watching from the Florida area, maybe you're visiting, maybe you just moved down here, relax. Don't go out and buy toilet paper. Don't go out and buy a ton of bottled water. It's going to be fine. It'll be fine. Unless you live in a trailer park, then you're screwed. You're screwed no matter what. It's just going to happen that way. Good evening, Ken. How are you, sir?
Good. I'm happy for the public service messages from Weather Central. You forgot, if Jim Cantori drives into your town, you have problems.
Panic.
Okay,
then
so
panic.
watch out for Jim. Yeah.
And thank you for the honorary blue shirt. We didn't plan this. The honorary blue shirt in honor of the hurricane coming towards Florida.
Yeah,
but, I'm sorry, Ken. Go ahead.
No, everybody keeps you and Dawn should move to Florida. I'm like,
yeah.
Nah, we've thought it through. So, yeah, hit those likes for the show. We're very needy tonight. George, we have an event coming up, and to be honest with you, I look forward to this show that we have for a number of years as much as I do the event tonight.
I hate all of you. I'll sit here and I'm going to sulk for 2 straight hours. I hate all of you because It is the gathering. It is the conference. It is the ParaCon of ParaCons as far as I'm concerned. And it all starts, Ken, with you and Rise Up Paranormal. And incredibly, that family has grown exponentially with the property owners and with the vendors and the participants. And it's just an amazing. Can you take us back a little bit? Because we have an anniversary tonight to celebrate. But how it all came about that you decided to start this Ocean State ParaCon?
The Cliff Notes version is that there was an absence of these kind of things. ParaCons were popping up all over the country. We didn't have anything in Rhode Island, so we thought about all the trouble and the logistical problems and everything that would go into putting on a ParaCon. So we considered these deeply, and we went ahead anyway. So we had very humble beginnings in the basement of a church. It was fairly sizable. You could probably put 400 or 500 people in there.
Wow.
And then we became friends with Andrea Perron, and I have to give her credit because growing up in Harrisville, she talked about this place called the Assembly Theater. and she knew a lot of people that were on the staff there. She said, you should call these people, because wouldn't it be great to have, a 2-day event there? Okay, so we did that. And in 2013, we started there. And as luck would have it, a movie was released that summer called The Conjuring. Perhaps you've heard of it.
Oh, yeah.
So this is actually the 10th anniversary of the Ocean State ParaCon, which coincides with the 10th anniversary of the movie. And since then, we have passed the $40,000 threshold for funds generated to charitable organizations and advocacy groups that range from the Wounded Warrior Project to the Autism Project to muscular dystrophy to the Coalition Against Domestic Violence to the so many Camp Braveheart the last couple of years. And this year, I'm very, very pleased and proud to say that we are doing this for the Tomorrow Fund for children with cancer. And we even have their website up there. If you cannot attend and you want to support this organization, that's the place to do it, tomorrowfund.org. And basically, what they do is they
Go ahead.
are suffering through this by picking up maybe paying their utility bills. Because a lot of times parents will lose their jobs. They're overcome by the financial burdens of this, and the Tomorrow Fund steps up. And we're going to have somebody on in just a while that has very, very close ties to this because of their own story. But this year is the 10th anniversary, and I don't want to. There's plenty of time to talk about this, for our vendors, everyone who has supported us. You have our eternal gratitude. But there's somebody with us right now that I would like to bring on. She is the sponsor of this year's Ocean State ParaCon. She is also the current owner of the Conjuring House, which is going to play such a huge role in this year's event. So without further delay, we want to bring in this year's 2023 Ocean State ParaCon sponsor. Would you please welcome back Jacqueline Nunez?
Hello. Hey!
Hey there. Hi, George. Hi, Ken.
Hi, Jacqueline.
It looks like you're in Studio B up there. What's going
Yes.
on?
I am at the Conjuring House. I'm in my little trailer that I stay in when I'm here.
Oh, it's
what are the
not little.
chances? You have to. Anybody who ventures there, you'll have to see this trailer. It's bigger than the house I live in right now.
I love it. It's fun. So
Give us an idea of what's going on up there. You heard our weather here in Florida. How are things around the farmhouse?
Today's a beautiful day. We actually have our camping going on tonight. We have a bunch of people staying in our tents tonight. We have a couple of house tours going on tonight. So we're pretty busy. Jen and Corey are here, and I'm here. So I'm thrilled.
Really?
We've remained on staff, and I just love it.
You're talking about one of the most iconic in the last 10 years, specifically, one of the most iconic locations now when it comes to the paranormal field. Has there been any downtime at all since you've been there?
No, there isn't.
In a word.
No, and no matter what we add, it just, we're very lucky. People just want to come here, and they want to be here, and it's very special, and we're very fortunate. But anything we offer, people are just wanting to come here. So no, we really haven't had any downtime at all, especially summer, late spring, summer, and now of course through Halloween. It's pretty crazy.
I guess you could say pretty much everybody who's wanted to be at the Conjuring House has been there.
Yeah, it's amazing how often we get people, because we ask everyone who steps foot here, have you ever been here before? And, no, no, no. And then we have people that have been here 20 times, 50 times, so we have both, but we love bringing in new people, introducing the house, introducing the paranormal to new people that don't know anything about the paranormal or how to investigate or anything. Like, those people are a lot of fun to bring in. And of course we love all of the people that just come back and come back and come back. So
Well, let me ask that, and then I turn it back over to Ken. Is people who have never investigated before, what do you have set up at the Conjuring House to help those people along?
yeah, so I mean, sometimes, like for example, our gamping that we've offered, we ask them, how many of you are investigators? And they tell us, no, they're just here to kind of sleep and hang out and say that they have slept on the land at the Conjuring House. Sometimes they bring equipment. And as far as the house, I mean, we offer sponsored events. And of course, Rise Up have hosted many, many events for us where we will have guided ghost hunting investigations. And in fact, we have some coming up over the ParaCon, right? So we have a go investigate from 7 to midnight on Sunday night, and then Saturday night after the movie, we have a witching hour ghost hunt that Rise Up will be hosting both of those events. So those events are for people that will be able to have professionals guide them through different aspects of an investigation.
Okay, Mr.
As
Ducat.
well as us. Well, when you do, and we found out, and I was half joking when I said that we considered all the obstacles and the logistics, and we went ahead anyway. But when we started at the theater, obviously we found out that there is so much to do to put this on. And you stepped up for this event so hugely this year. And I've said this to you before privately. I will say it publicly, Jacqueline. We, on behalf of everybody, and that's not just Rise Up, but the attendees, the vendors who come every year, we are humbled and so grateful for your assistance this year. For the ParaCon, it seemed like a great fit, but not only to be our sponsor, but to offer the house, to be part of the activities we put on that weekend. It's just, we cannot thank you enough for that.
Well, that's very kind, Ken, and we are absolutely thrilled and happy to do it. As we all know, this is a very special year, 10-year anniversary. I was thrilled when you told me that you were bringing the Ocean State ParaCon back to Harrisville. I mean, that's amazing. So we're thrilled to do whatever we can to help, and we're happy to help future years, right? Do whatever we can to help the Ocean State ParaCon. So, where there is great synergy, Rise Up, you have done a lot for the house. You've done a lot for me, and we appreciate it. So, just giving back what you've given. That's how it works, Ken.
The hallmark of this event, and this is what I've been told by attendees, because when you're in the moment, you don't think about, there's so much to do. You're selling tickets, you're getting things set up, you're, in contact with the venue, and you don't have a chance to really think about these things. But when people come away from it, the two things they say is they're amazed at what a laid back event this is and how communal it is. There are no long lines to talk to guests. It's not a corporate type of event. And, when you're reaching out into the community, like we've tried to do more than just, come in the house and find the ghost. Help comes in many forms. So our platform was to use this crazy thing we call the paranormal that everybody loves to reach out and do those things. And it kind of mirrors the same thing that you've been doing since your tenure at the Conjuring House, where you're creating an outreach to the local community and globally, really, to bring people in a welcoming environment. So it seems like what you're doing is in full concert what we try to do with just, reaching out and doing a little bit more for people who, in our case, people who need that help. But in yours, you've kind of changed the dynamic of the whole property and made it such a welcoming and dare I say peaceful environment.
I know, right? Peaceful. No, they thank you for saying that. We just want people to see the house for what it is, right? So, and people come with their own intentions and they see what they want to see, but it's not all creepy, it's not all scary, it's not all demons. It's like actually, really kind of none of that stuff. So thanks for saying that.
Yeah. And again, it falls so squarely in line with what we're trying to do there. It's not about spookiness. It's not about the demonic and the negative and all the rest of that. It really is a celebration of sorts. And again, we have a great deal of gratitude to Andrea Perron for putting us together with the people at the theater. And although the regimes have kind of changed, as boards usually do when people leave and other people are voted in, it's kind of funny because going through the process with the people there now, they're telling us, well, access to the projection room is through the men's room and it's very steep stairs. And I'm just like, yes, we know. I know, the basement and the dressing rooms. I'll have to mention to them when I come up there Tuesday for their board meeting to tie up loose ends that, we've investigated your theater. Oh, and by the way, it's haunted. And we literally shot a documentary at that theater 10 years ago when we first went in there, and some of the things are pretty remarkable. But then again, Harrisville seems to be that kind of place, isn't it?
I mean, Burrillville, Harrisville is pretty haunted. We get emails frequently from neighbors and stuff of our immediate next door neighbor. Their house is super haunted. So there's something about this area that's pretty fascinating, but there's a lot of activity around here for sure.
Yeah, and here you are right in the middle of it. You come from the city of Boston and see this house. You have to tell us really about the genesis of your purchase of this house and property. And if you visited but have not this year, I know that when I walked in, because recently the Conjuring movie was shown outside and Andrea Perron was in attendance and a bunch of us came. Jay Hawes showed up with his family, which was, surprised me. But the changes that you've made to this place, I mean, those that you can discuss at this point.
Yeah.
When I went into the backyard and I said, well, they're doing this gamping thing, and I saw places that I wanted to rent from you. Huge tents that accommodate so many people. The transformation of the property, not just the house itself, has been incredible. I mean, I was literally blown away by what I saw back there.
Well, thank you. This property deserves to have all the love and care that, that I can give to it. So, I'm really, the most important thing is to have people that come here have a good experience, and whether that's a good aesthetic experience when they walk on, or oh my God, the lights, it looks beautiful, to the interaction that they have with the staff, to the paranormal activity that they can get with the spirits. I mean, I want everyone to have a great impression and to have a good experience. And when I decided to do the gamping, I needed to put things in place. One, so that they could be quality tents and stuff for the guests that come, but also to make sure that things are safe and secure as people are walking along. You see all these solar lights that are strewn, like lighting up the stone walls and stuff. It's beautiful, but also it provides a level of safety as people are traversing and walking along the grounds. So,
very
I mean,
important.
we are about to complete our big barn renovation. And, we can't announce, it's going to be an event space. There's something in particular that we'll be starting with in mind at some point, we'll be disclosing, but that should be done sometime in September. So I'm excited.
Jacqueline, let's just throw it out there. We'll be the first ones to announce the barn is being renovated into an apartment for me, just for me. So that when I get to stay there, I get all the creature comforts, and I appreciate that
George,
generosity.
I didn't want to announce that yet, but
Cat's out of the bag.
Cat's out of the bag. George, we do need to get you up here.
It's a dream, a pipe dream that it may be, but it's a dream. Maybe someday we'll get a chance over the phone or through social media to connect and explain why I've not been able to get up there yet.
Yeah.
Ken and I have had multiple conversations, and the logic and the rationale and the reasoning, and it's just not in the cards as of yet, but hopefully it will be in the future.
Well, through the magic of a podcast, we're going to give you a taste of Harrisville. It's not like, you've been there. You haven't been to the house, but you have been to Harrisville. You've been to the event.
That close.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, I have a title there. I am actually the official fire starter of the Conjuring house.
Oh my God.
I don't know if that's good nomenclature.
Well, there's a story, see.
Are you going to tell that story? That was hysterical.
Yeah, we're just trying to start a fire. So somebody had to throw a little bit of accelerant on the fire.
Good God.
So I was volunteered for that because people know that I'm a country boy and I'm a little bit maybe not wrapped too tight with that, but hey, it all worked.
It worked. You were throwing the accelerant behind your back. It was really funny.
Yes.
It was during the movie.
If you're in this business, using the air quotes, as long as I have a grapevine starts to grow, where there's very little that happens that you don't know about. And word gets around. The paradigm shift in the Conjuring house, and I must say this before we bring in our next guest here. People say that name with a smile on their face. And it wasn't always that way. So, Jacqueline, not only do I thank you for what you've done for us for this event, but I appreciate, being someone who's been in this field for a long time, the respect and admiration I have when someone mentions a location and people smile. That just means the world, because they're looking at it through a different lens now. And it starts with this woman, ladies and gentlemen.
You have calmed the waters.
It truly does. So
I think you're giving me a little bit too much credit.
No, I don't think so.
I think the spirits they just needed to be able to be themselves. I know that sounds like I'm with the paranormal crowd here, but I was going to say that probably sounds crazy, right? Like the spirits just want to be themselves. So I just feel like, we've, and I think it started with the Heinzens as well, right? So just allowing the spirits to just kind of be who they are and try and help change the narrative about it. So, but thank you. That thrills me that people are seeing the house for what it actually is. Then that's. Yeah. So I'm more like stepping out of the way in some ways, I think.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. A lot of times going into locations, just get the heck out of the way and let the building or the place speak for itself.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We want to bring a guest on that has been anxious to meet you, and I know you have been anxious to meet her. And we have become very good friends over the past few months. We are so happy to bring her on. The only woman in the United States listed as an exorcist. And this woman has more degrees than any thermometer in my house right now. So we are going to bring on her friend. She asked if she could wear a baseball cap tonight. I don't know if it's a bad hair night or whatever, but I'm with you, Michelle. Let's bring in Michelle Roos right now.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I was.
Oh yeah, you can go ahead. Hi,
Now
Michelle.
look at- hey, Michelle.
Hey, how are you guys?
Yeah. Michelle, from
I
what I
had an
understand,
event last night.
you've never been to the Conjuring house. Is that correct, Michelle?
No, I have
I hate
never
you.
been there.
I hate you.
Don't
I
know a
hate
lot
you.
about it. I've only watched the first movie.
Okay.
So I am definitely going in, with just arms, heart, and eyes wide open, and just see what I can get when I get there.
Good for
Well,
you.
I know it's also your first trip to the state of Rhode Island. You're coming all the way from Iowa for this. So, yeah, there you go. Go Hawkeyes.
Yeah. Are you a Hawkeye or a Cyclone?
Hawkeye.
Oh, I was a Cyclone.
Oh. Wah, wah.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Michelle. I've heard a lot about you.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm excited to, be invited and be there to get to know everybody a little more, hear some more stories. And, I am just very humbled to be asked for coming to one of these ParaCons that actually gives back to the communities. And so I'm very, very humble, and I'm excited at the same time.
Michelle, can you kind of in detail give Jacqueline a description of how you're going to be doing this blood sacrifice?
Well, you see, I first need to have some volunteers. And
Well, Ken, he's
share
already half
them.
on fire, so that's
Got
okay.
it.
Yeah.
Got it.
And like I said, we'll dare them. We'll double dog dare them. And then we'll really make them feel bad until they come forth. So
I really want to know, though, what's your strategy going to this place for the very first time?
Yeah.
What are your expectations? And then what kind of plan have you devised, if
well,
any?
actually, I don't have a plan. I'm actually going, just being very open to what is going to be told to me. I always go in with a lot of respect, and I also make sure they know that it's okay to come towards me and maybe tell parts of their stories. So I never go in with this big plan of what things are going to happen, because again, we all know, spirits, they're not on a payroll. And so they're just going to come and talk and do what they need to do. And I'm just going to do it with, the utmost respect, and just kind of see. I'm really more drawn to the land for some reason. The land calls to me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I've never been on it. And there's a couple parts of the wooded area that I keep seeing. And so it'll definitely be very interesting to see when I step, right on it and see what happens.
So you've been picking up on things already then? Or
Yes.
getting messages already. Okay.
Yes.
I
So
believe
yeah, I'm kind of excited.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. I believe when you two meet, that just this feeling you're going to be fast friends, because there's a symbiotic thing going on there. And with Michelle having, first of all, it's an honor for us to have you. I was so glad. And this contact was made by who else? Erin Bush, who seems to be omnipresent everywhere. She's in chat right now. But that's high, and had you on the show, and then we got together Thursday for our little Thursday night soiree we had. and we got to dig into some of the nuts and bolts about what it is that we do. This is a different type of place because you mentioned I've seen it in the movies and everything like that. But now I am so curious when you set foot there, what that's going to be like for you, because I love going into the house. And when we do host events there, usually a standard question is how many people have been here before? And then when no hands go up, I'm like,
Game on.
I'm so excited because whatever preconceived ideas you have, you're a blank canvas.
Yes.
And I love those blank canvases because now you're going to experience not only the house, but the property, this entire region here through organic eyes, so I am so looking forward to that in a very selfish way.
Yeah.
Just see how this plays out.
Ken, I'm looking forward to what spirits will come forward for Michelle. Like, who will come forward? I'm curious who will come forward.
Great. We're talking about the Conjuring house, and there's a black cat crossing the screen.
Yeah. He's actually gray, and his name's Huey.
I wanted to, if I could, give everyone, we talked about the Tomorrow Fund. And of course, for those who are joining us late, this is our annual ParaCon preview show. We have a host of guests, Jacqueline Nunez, Michelle Roos, with us right now. But this is obviously the 10th anniversary of the movie The Conjuring. So I wanted to give everybody a look at where this is going to be in Harrisville, Rhode Island. So a couple of pictures to give you a sense and the scope of where we're going to be, because we like to call this a paranormal farmer's market, and you'll see why in a second. But this is on the lake that's looking toward the theater. This is the waterfall I was telling you about, Michelle, and there's a lake right on the side. And of course, we're going to be inside. You're going to be giving your presentation inside the theater, air conditioned. Thank you very much. It's about 4. And another quick look at this. This is pretty much what the setup looks like in a typical year. We're out on the grounds. We have guests everywhere. And this is what I mean by a paranormal farmer's market. So the vendors that we have outside, if anyone thinks this is all connected to the paranormal, well, you're wrong, because we have authors, we have artisans, artists from beyond the field of the paranormal. Some of the art that is going to be displayed is remarkable, absolutely remarkable. So this is what I mean about reaching out to the community. You may think we're all crazy, but come and support a good cause, and you'll get to meet a lot of great people. Here is another shot there. Let me get that back up. I have to change mice, by the way, because my mouse is just awful here. So a little bit of an idea of what goes on there. And again, out in the grounds, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Wear comfortable shoes.
Awful lot of fun. And there is such a collegial atmosphere around it. We were saying this at the beginning. The feedback we get always is laid back, the vibe, the friendliness. And I think being outdoors will do that to you sometimes, rather than being confined in a lobby or
Yes.
a hotel.
Yeah.
That
we
does
got
get
some
a little
more?
bit too much.
We've got some more guests in the green room.
Yes, we do. And live or coming back wherever the heck they are right now, here are a couple of people with close ties to the Conjuring house right now that are going to pop on and join us and tell us all about their trip to Oz. Hi, guys.
Hi, how is everyone?
So
Yeah.
we want to know what's going on, and where are you still in Michigan?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Ah,
are.
you're in a hotel. That's nice.
Yeah. No, we're still in Michigan. It definitely felt like a trip to Oz to get out here. That's for sure.
Oh my goodness.
It was crazy. It was the first time sleeping in an airport, which was a lot of fun.
First time being stuck in an airport due to tornadoes. It was
Ooh.
very crazy to get here, but we were happy to be here and get some stuff actually for Ocean State ParaCon, which we're really excited to talk about as well.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll be back in a week, right? At least. How was that puddle? How was that puddle jump at the Sault Ste. Marie?
Well, when we finally, it was actually a nice flight, but when we got to Detroit, we were told that the flight was canceled, and then we were like, why? It was very random, and then all of a sudden tornado sirens went off, and we were being told to get to the best shelter we could in the airport.
Which was a room surrounded by glass windows.
A very big glass room. So it didn't seem very safe. Tim Shaw and John Zaffis were stuck in the men's bathroom hiding. So there was
As he usually is, yeah.
we were all separated around the airport, and then we slept on wheelchairs on the floor and whatever we could find.
Yeah, I was able to wrangle in like 4 wheelchairs. So we were able to make some.
Hey, Cody, we were talking a little bit about the beneficiary of this year, the Tomorrow Fund, and I thought that there was absolutely no one better than you to tell us a little bit about that organization and what makes them so special. So the floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, so the Tomorrow Fund, definitely a great Rhode Island-based organization that definitely hits home as far as my family is concerned. So for those that don't know, in 2011, I was diagnosed with a type of cancer called CML. It's a type of leukemia. And so, you know, of course, if I'm sure everybody out there has a family member that's been affected with cancer, unfortunately, in some form or another. And you know, of course, it's usually very unexpected, and there's a lot of bills that come along with fighting that disease. And unfortunately, you know, when you're first diagnosed, insurance isn't covering a lot of things, and you have to pay out of pocket just to stay alive, which is sad. This day in our country, that is a thing that is still going on, and the bills add up very, very quickly. So organizations like the Tomorrow Fund are able to help, you know, kind of relieve, you know, some of those bills with, you know, assisting financially to the families of patients, of their patients. So the Tomorrow Fund also has a clinic at you know, Rhode Island Hospital for children who are fighting cancer, and so, you know, I was going to the clinic every single month up until you know, this year. This year was my final year going there because I aged out. You know, it's only for children, and I was probably the oldest patient. So yeah, I mean, they're a really great organization. They helped my family out with, you know, for example, like oil bills and medication, all different things that kind of just, you know, kind of ease everything and make it a little bit easier for families that are dealing and going through this stuff, you know.
Yep, I'm going to put this up here again, if I could. And for those of you all over the globe, really, because we know you're there from Australia and the Philippines and India and all over the place, and we appreciate that. But if you can't make it to the Ocean State ParaCon, maybe you want to do something, there's the place that you can do it for, tomorrowfund.org. So very, very happy to partner with Lisa and her staff there. Remarkable.
Hey,
Satori,
Ken?
you just brought something in. Is that? I'm sorry.
No, I need to jump, so I got to sign off.
Oh, okay. All right, Jacqueline. Well, thank you again for everything.
Yes, thanks for having me, and I'll see Cody and Satori. I'll see you guys this week, I think. Michelle, pleasure to meet you. Hi,
Nice
George.
to meet you.
Jacqueline,
Thanks
I'll
for
get you
having me on.
contact information from Ken, setting up for my new apartment.
Perfect. I'll be waiting.
Very good.
All right. Good night, you
Take
guys.
care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Jacqueline Nunez, ladies and gentlemen, sponsor of this year's Ocean State ParaCon. So we have a few more guests, but before we get to them, Satori, did they give you a diploma or something today? What are you hiding
Oh
behind your
my
back?
God.
So for the events, Cody and I have wanted to gather a couple of things for an auction, a silent auction where all the proceeds go towards the Tomorrow Fund. And Cody and I had a couple ideas. First one, the big one, was a poster. So we are at Michigan ParaCon with some of our amazing friends and other people in the paranormal. And so Cody and I walked around the event whenever we could. And
It was a shakedown, in other words.
It was.
I wanted to. Do you want to help pull it open? We were able to get quite a couple signatures for a post we're going to auction. There's over 30 signatures. We have a couple more to get before the ParaCon that I'm thinking of. Definitely has a very high value. So we're going to try to auction this off and see what we can get. We have people from Ghost Hunters, Project Fear, all sorts of TV shows, authors, mediums. We actually have Jack Osborne as well. He was at this event and we were able to there as well. A lot of people wanted to help.
A bunch of people.
Shane Pittman, all sorts of people. John Tinney, Andrea signed it. Everybody was so happy to do that. So we're going to silent auction this piece, but also we were given a quite a couple other things when we mentioned that we were trying to support the Tomorrow Fund, and we explained what it was to other guests and talent at this event. A couple people at the event were like, wait, you're doing a fundraiser? We love this. We love this idea. We want to help out too. So we were actually given a couple more things. One of them, we were given a board game by Greg Lawson, the author. He actually made an entire paranormal board game surrounding people in the field, both living and passed on. And there's less than 30 ever created. And I was able to get some of those cards signed by the people that are mentioned in the board game. We're going to auction off as well.
And they're very, very rare board games. They sell for like $200 a piece. And I think this one's numbered as well. So, and the answers are paranormal, people like Satori's dad is an answer to one of the questions, and it's a really cool board game. So we donated that, and like Satori said, we have some signatures on the playing cards.
We do. We also got some. We have Chip Coffee when we mentioned that we wanted to get a poster signed. He was also, can you please donate this? He signed a thing that we'll also donate as well. Richard Estep, he gave some of his time. So there's quite a couple things people wanted to really donate for this foundation, which is awesome.
Thank you so much, guys, for that. So this is going to be an auction dive. One of the other thing we have Boston Red Sox tickets to auction off, and a few other things. You just gave me an idea for a paranormal Monopoly game. I'm going to let you guys in on the bottom line of that. Okay, Michelle, we're going to be rich.
Yeah.
Before we bring other guests on, first of all, have you guys met? If Cody and Satori, Michelle Roos, you have not met.
No,
It's nice to meet you guys.
virtually.
This is pretty remarkable because we're going to do, George, we're going to do that traffic control that we talked about pre-show, because we're going to bring people in, and we understand that some people will stay, some people might have to go, but this also, I think, is going to be a great opportunity for a lot of people to meet each other who maybe not have in the past. So in no particular, let's do it in the order they showed up. Let's see who's here right now. Let's bring in from Mysteries, Myths, and Monsters. Let's bring in Mr. Ronald Murphy.
Ronald's muted.
He's muted. You're muted.
I was going to say today is indeed a bad hair day. So that's the reason why the obligatory hat is necessary. Guys, I haven't seen anybody for a long time, but I did run into the paranormal couple, and I met them for the first time in Gettysburg. So it's been a very busy summer for me. I'm leaving for Dallas in a couple of days, and I wanted to say that I'm so looking forward to getting back up into that area. I was just up there with my daughter about 2 months ago looking at colleges. And Michelle, I agree with you 1,000%. The first time I'd ever visited the Conjuring house is whenever I was up there, and I just got a chance to drive past. And I do feel that it's something inherent within the land. I'm not sure if we're dealing so much with human spirits, but I feel that there is something, definitely some sort of energies or intelligences attached to the land itself. And I cannot wait to hear what you have to say about it and what the Cody and Satori have to say about it. And like, I'm just kind of fanboying right now. I cannot wait to meet everybody.
Yeah, me too.
Well, this is pretty good. The baseball hat crew. Pittsburgh is represented. The Iowa Hawkeyes are represented, and Krypton is represented. So we are covering the universe here. Let's see. We're gonna bring this young lady in right now because she has a bit of a connection to the house. Let's bring Jen in right now.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
I don't know if I need to turn.
Jen and Corey are watching you babysitting the Conjuring house tonight, and you've got your own history there, 2 years of ownership or thereabouts. But you guys came in right about that time that the movie came out, because I remember, or maybe a year later, because you guys came to Ocean State.
We did.
So you kind of walked into that
Yes.
whole thing maybe a few years later, but when you bought the house, it was like, oh my God, this is a thing.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. Oh my God, this is the thing. Yeah, we bought it the year before COVID, so we did go to the ParaCon the first year in 2019, but then COVID hit and everything was crazy, and yeah.
But and here we are. So
Here we are.
I got to circle back to Michelle, because these are all like part of our little tribe we have here. So Michelle Roos, everyone. So very, very happy to have her on board this year. I cannot wait to hear about what everybody's going to be discussing. I have one topic, and people want to know, it's like, who's talking when? Because there are tours of the Conjuring house being given. There's investigations Saturday, Sunday night. So everybody's trying to plan their schedule around you guys. Do you know what a pain in the neck that you've all been to me trying to do that? Just want to let you know. I'm not bitter or anything. Just saying.
Yeah. Sorry.
Let's see. I'm going to bring all you guys together. She is the host of the Spooky New England podcast, which has about 15 million viewers right now, or 15 billion. She's got more viewers than McDonald's has sold hamburgers. So we're going to bring in Amanda Millette right now.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh,
We
okay.
can hear you. We know that you're so limited for time because you're a nurse in an ER, and you put me in my place today when I called you a lightweight. And what did you say back to me?
I said, do you want a sleepy nurse during your surgery?
A sleepy nurse.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
need surgery now. But
Well,
Yeah.
you got me there. And then finally, you've been backstage, the co-host of Mysteries, Myths, and Monsters, or whatever it is that you're calling yourself these days. Christopher Rondina joins us.
Howdy,
The
folks.
hits just keep on coming.
We're almost with the Brady Bunch here.
All right. Everybody I know seems to know each other. Christopher, this is Amanda. Christopher, this is Michelle. Michelle and Amanda, this is Christopher,
I
who
think
writes.
Michelle's the only one I haven't met, actually.
Yeah. Christopher is like one of the coolest people amongst us, because he gets to go to France and Germany to research his books. So yeah, it's kind of like that. So we just we just golf clap for Chris.
Hey, I still put my pant legs on one leg at a time. So
I see. I have somebody do that for me now.
yeah, I've heard that you've been moving upwards in the world. You got your valet now.
That's right. That's right.
I haven't quite reached royalty status yet. I'll let you guys know when I'm royalty. So, but no, I'm very psyched. I'm super looking forward to this year's ParaCon. Again, our big 10th anniversary, which is awesome. I believe I was at the first ParaCon. I'm pretty sure back in 2013, might have been 2014, but I was pretty sure that I did the first one, and have been at every one since, except the one year when my car broke down and I had to miss the second day. But I think I've been pretty consistent since then. So I'm very psyched that we've got 10 years running now.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. Hey, listen, because we're here for ParaCon, we're going to get into you guys too, but I wanted to, as I was talking to Jacqueline, who we're so grateful for footing the bill basically on this whole thing. It's a lot of work that goes into this. Cody knows because he's been boots on the ground in the field with us here. Makes absolutely the best little sticks with numbers on them where people put their table. I mean, chef's kiss. Absolutely the best. You got to make a bunch of those this year.
Your stick and number game is off the charts.
Right.
Thanks,
So
man.
I wanted to go back to Jen for a minute and just say, hey, listen, we're coming back home after 2 years now of being at a casino. The reasons are varied, but now we're kind of coming back to where we started this whole thing, really. So coming in, expectations, or like, what do we do to get your business, Michelle?
Well, it's really hard for me to talk about. I see how everybody's just glowing with what you guys been doing for 10 years. And so to be able to kind of come in, this little family that has grown and is continuing to do good things, it's something I've not done. And I just like the feeling of, okay, I know what I'm feeling about grounds and this, but I'm just excited to meet everybody, hear their stories. So I'll probably be fangirling, in the seats while everybody's doing their speaking. And, like I said at the beginning, I'm very humbled to be part of this and a great cause. And so, yeah. And why I have you guys' attention, I'm going to have to jump off pretty soon too. But I want to thank you guys. I can't wait to meet all of you. And I hope you guys have a blessed evening.
Well, we will. And we are so looking forward to you being a part of this. And very grateful for your time coming in from Iowa, from the great state of Iowa. Go Hawkeyes. So we'll look forward to that. And I'm really looking forward to your topic, whatever that's going to be. It'd probably be a good one.
It's going to be really good. And good night to Jonathan. And of course, the same name that goes around, Aaron, has helped me put stuff together. So this way people will actually be really intrigued with it.
Well, we love you. We appreciate you coming and can't wait till you get here.
All right. You guys have a wonderful evening.
All right,
Bye.
Michelle.
See you
Now,
next week.
ladies and gentlemen, for those who were a little late to the party, the only woman listed as a confirmed exorcist in the United States of America.
Wow.
And more degrees in psychology and theology than you could shake a stick at. George, I know we got to go to break here real quick. If we got a couple of minutes, what do we got?
You got about 2 minutes.
All right. Want to go to Jen? Jen, story time.
Uh-oh.
So you guys buy the house and show up at Ocean State ParaCon, and the Providence Journal comes because we're getting that kind of coverage, and we'll probably do the local TV stations again. So a reporter comes up to me, and the place is absolutely mobbed. He said, what do you attribute to the crowd here today? I think that's the year we raised like $10,000 or something crazy. And I said, well, it's just such a great event, and people get together. And she looks at me dead in the face and said, "Oh, and you don't think the Conjuring house has anything to do? The idea that it's being sold?" And I was just kind of like, okay.
Oh, man.
That was a crazy time for you guys.
It was crazy. It was still new to us, and we still really didn't know what to expect. We weren't 100% sure that we would open it to the public. That was, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was 2 weeks after we purchased, 3 weeks at the most. It was still brand new to us. So, yeah.
And here you are.
Here we are.
Nice, quiet couple from Maine comes down, and everybody's jamming microphones and cameras in your face, and what's going on, and tell us about it. And you guys had barely gotten a welcome mat in the door at that point.
Yeah. I feel like I was super, super shy before that. Not that I'm not still shy, but at least I've come out of my shell a little bit. That was just like...
You had no choice. You had absolutely no choice.
I expected it.
If everybody sticks with us through the break, we got a guest or two coming. If you can, I would love you to do that, because I want to ask you a little bit about the first time in Harrisville, the first time at the theater, the first time at the Conjuring house, and so forth. I think we lost Ron somewhere.
We did. Maybe we'll get
him back.
Yeah, we'll try and get them back. They should all be able to stay. At this point, Cody and Satori are stuck in a hotel room. Chris looks like he's at the public library. Jennifer's nice and relaxed, and Amanda's in a coma. So we'll probably still have them for the extra hour there, guys. But we got to go to break. We are at the top of the hour. We'll be back in 3 minutes. You're watching Dead Air Live on the Dead Air Full Spectrum channel, 10-year anniversary of the Conjuring house. Stay with us, guys. We'll be right back.
Happy birthday.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
As UFO reports come in from around the world, the Mutual UFO Network, MUFON, is there. We continue to explore new cases and build our massive database. We share our information with the world in a number of ways. If you'd like to be part of our investigative team, you are always welcome. What could be more exciting than exploring the UFO question firsthand? Join MUFON, find your friends.
Did you know 75% of Americans
You're listening to the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. We provide unparalleled coverage of trending news in the world of ufology, cryptozoology, and paranormal phenomenon. Whether you're watching our video live stream or listening to one of our audio programs, you are getting the best from world-renowned researchers and hosts, guiding you through topics the mainstream won't touch. Miss one of your favorite programs? No problem. Head over to the members area at kgradb.com for access to our massive library of award-winning content. Make contact, stay connected, only at kgradb.com.
Get your hand out of the camera. What are you doing?
All right. The Tory told me to.
God. Welcome back, everybody, to the second hour of our show. Before we continue on, I want to give a quick shout out, and we're so glad that he's recovered and he's great, and that's our producer, Bill Forte. Prayers do work, and thankfully we've got him with us tonight, as we do every Sunday. So thank you, Bill, for all that you do. As we continue, Ken, I guess this would be a good time as well to notify everybody who still wants to come to this event, if they can. How do they go about that, sir?
Well, advance tickets. It's first of all, tickets are available at admissions. Okay, very affordable. You know, for these type of things, considering the people that you're going to see, people you're going to meet, are amazing vendors that are just incredible. Many of them have been with us for the entire 10 years of this event. We can't thank them enough. But if you want to get tickets in advance, it's right down here, riseupparanormal.com/ParaConHTM. And you can go in there, and what we've got scheduled, of course, Saturday is the Ocean State ParaCon. Saturday night, the Conjuring film, hosted by Andrea Perron, will be playing in the theater at 7 p.m. And Saturday night, there is an investigation of the Conjuring house from 10 to 3. I'm told that's sold out. We come back, do it all again on Sunday with the Ocean State ParaCon, as well as another sold-out investigation of the Conjuring house on Sunday night. Also, tours of the Conjuring house are available during the day as they are available. George, let's see if we can get that banner up. If you would like to try to see if there's tours available, theconjuringhouse.com. So we've got a lot in store for everybody, including a chance to talk to in person all of the people that have been kind enough to join us tonight to help us out with this. So a lot going on. Do most of the vendors accept credit cards? There is Wi-Fi available, Sarah, and it wasn't for the year, our last year there. Cody probably backed me up on this, but I believe it's all set now, and I am looking at a ladybug crawling up a Rise Up team picture that I have, so that's a good sign. Maybe I can bring her on too. But a lot going on. It's not just the event, all sorts of other things to satisfy all your paranormal illumination needs.
Yeah, and do not think you can just hope by showing up to get in there and get access during the event weekend. If they are sold out, they're sold out. And Ken, I do believe Dawn DaCosta is the enforcer that night for security.
Yeah, no, she's the bouncer. You got to go. You got to get past Dawn.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
No,
it's not easy at all to do. Trust me on that.
I mean, she takes charge of Ken, and Ken is 7'10", so understand this woman can take care of things, to say the least.
I wanted to circle back to Amanda here because Amanda, I've had a pacemaker put in, I've had a tumor removed, I've had hernia surgery, I've had knee surgery, and none of my nurses seemed to be drowsy at the time. course, I had usually have them done in the morning, but we wanted to give everybody a little bit of taste. So we're going to go back in time a little bit for Amanda's first visit at the Conjuring house and a little film we like to call Amanda and the Estes Method. So we can absolutely talk over this. Amanda, you can take us through this right now. That's Tim Weisberg, who's also one of our guests. Tim is probably in a plane somewhere. What's going through your ears and your head right now, Amanda? What are we doing here?
So this wasn't my first time, but it was Tim's first time.
Oh, excuse me.
It was interesting because you can't see, but Andrea was sitting across from me. And it seemed like the spirits were talking to her, which was a really cool and unique experience, obviously. But.
Was that the one where we miss Andrea, I think?
Yeah, like we miss your family. I think
that's cool. That's cool. We also have another clip that Cody's going to take us through right now, and this was pre-gamping. But Cody was under some type of attack outside in the backyard. And he's taking camera through the woods here. What was going on there? You came under some kind of oppression or something.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, oppression of mosquitoes, probably. But there was a lot of, I remember there was a couple shadows and stuff that was going on out there. I think there was a bang or something that happened that night that I heard. But I don't think the audio for the live stream, I don't think anyone was paying attention to me. So yeah, there was a lot that happened. But that's probably George's fault, right?
It was my fault. There was a lot going on at that point in time, and I see Ken in the other camera going like this. Yes. Cody, stay possessed. We'll be right back. Ken needs to be okay.
Wave in front of the camera if something happens, and I'm so Chris, you had the pleasure of going in, and we kind of know that you have a very objective point of view on these kind of things. And I remember you saying, "Oh, what the hell? I'm going to go." And I think Jen, you were still. I'm not sure if Jen and Corey.
Yeah, Jen and Corey. Jen and Corey were there that night. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, they were there. As a matter of fact, I showed up a little bit early, and I think I probably barged into their living room unannounced. So sorry about that.
No.
But I consider myself a pretty rational person, and I'm not usually pointing into the darkness and screaming, "Can you hear that?" or talking about orbs or anything. I tend to be pretty feet on the ground. And we'd been there for a couple of hours. It was getting fairly late in the night, and a handful of us had collected in one of the upstairs larger bedrooms. And there's a connecting sort of short hallway that connects the larger upstairs bedroom and the smaller one. And you could see between the two bedrooms, you could see right down the hall, and you could see the light from the window on the other side of the hallway. And a few of us started to notice that it just seemed to be getting cold in the room, and there was a feeling that was just kind of really weighing down on us. And I tend to be a feet first guy. And so I got up and I said, "Listen, I'm going to walk towards the other room and see what I experience." And we could, as I say, clearly see through the hallway and into the window in the other room. And the hallway just filled with blackness. It completely filled with blackness. And all of a sudden you could not see into the other room. It was absolutely obscured. And so I continued pressing forward into that darkness to see if it was an optical illusion of visual fatigue. I really didn't know what it was, and I couldn't make it into the other room. I honestly, I wouldn't call it panic by any means, but it was an oppressive, truly oppressive feeling in the hallway between those two rooms. And even standing in the heart of that hallway, I literally could not see into the other room. Now, mind you, of course, we had the lights off, but there was light coming in through the window. And again, it was an incredibly oppressive feeling, and it didn't go away for quite a while. In fact, everyone else lost sight of me as well. I had a couple of friends that were there with us that night. There was about, I think maybe 10 or 11 of us all told that stayed over that night. And that was the most intense thing that happened. But I have to say that in my time, in my many, many years investigating the paranormal and investigating legends, I don't have a lot of experiences that I cannot explain away, and that one to this day remains very unexplainable. I'm fully aware of the amount of to which the Conjuring house has been overblown in the media and in films and everything, and I know that a lot of stuff that we see on on TV and in the media is very, very dramatized, but it was an intense experience, and I came away very unnerved from that. That doesn't happen to me too often. So I would say at the very least, I am firmly in the something's going on there category as far as the house is concerned. And so it was certainly informative.
Yeah, I want to because the Ocean State ParaCon, it's kind of like Monty Python's Flying Circus, but a little bit organized, because everybody's set up, like I say, I don't want to belabor the idea that there's a lot of work that goes into it, because anybody who does these things, if they're in a VFW hall somewhere, there's a lot of work that goes into these things. But I found that I don't like to travel to a lot of places where I have to drive an hour. There's got to be a reason. But Harrisville, the town itself, I mean, it's a quaint little village in Burrowville. And this particular location has brought a lot of notoriety to a very, very small place in the very, very small estate. And it wasn't always the way it is right now. Jen and Corey made it so that people could come in and judge for themselves. And of course, Jacqueline picked up that mantle as far as coming in. But the Conjuring house has meant a lot to that town. And I think they've kind of accepted it because it wasn't always that way. There was always a lot of controversy that surrounded the house through previous ownerships, through a weird dynamic when the movie came out. But I think that right now, it's kind of like I told Jacqueline earlier, when people mention the Conjuring house, they mention Harrisville, there's almost kind of a smile on their face now. They enjoy going into the place, so it's cool that it's had I think positive impact on it, and it certainly has done a lot for our event.
Yeah,
we were just looking for a place to have it at some point, and turned out to be this. Here we are.
I wanted to ask the group something. This is for some of you one of many returns, for some of you maybe first time, but is there a game plan going in, whether you've been in there before or this is the first time going in? Do you have certain expectations, and do you have certain ideas perhaps different from what you've done before, with this being the 10-year anniversary of the movie, which may mean nothing to the spirits, but it means a lot to the people that are attending? Are there certain things that you want to revisit or visit for the first time in your techniques, visit for the first time in your thought processes, your attitude? And I know, Christopher, what you were talking about, I had the same incident at Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in the geriatric ward, and there's this ramp, and I got to the bottom of the ramp, and every fiber of my being said, bad, don't even go further past this point in time.
Take another step.
It has stuck as my Achilles heel ever since then, because I've yet to be back, and I need to breach that. I need to go past that. Is that something in mind for you on this next trip?
Well, I can tell you, I'm not even sure, because I'm not scheduled to be on any of the official tours or anything. So I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to go back, but I really would like to. So if I could find a way to squeeze my way in, I may do that. And I want to address something kind of connected to that. A couple of people have been chiming in our comments talking about the sort of the tendency to talk about demons, and I'm not a big supporter. We've talked about this many times on our show and on Dead Air about our perspective on demons. I'm not a huge supporter of that. I don't really particularly believe in demonic energy, at least not the way that people look at it. But I do think that a lot of spirits, a lot of ghosts come with some heavy baggage, and I believe that darkness ends up becoming what keeps sort of the remnants or the memories of a person here. And I think that if there is some element of darkness in that house, that's what's keeping them there, and that when all that emotion, which is often all that's left behind of a spirit. I mean, the spirit doesn't always have the sentience. It doesn't always have conversational ability, but that raw emotion remains behind. And if you ever have thought about how hard it is sometimes when you have to confront somebody on something that you don't want to talk to them about, and sometimes you just can't open your mouth and get that out, that sort of blockage. Imagine if that was all that was left of you and how powerful that emotion can be. And for me, like you're saying at the bottom of that ramp in the Allegheny Asylum, that sense of just emotional blockage can physically stop you in your tracks. And I knew that I did not want to take another step into that other room because I thought the darkness would overwhelm me. And that isn't the kind of experience that I particularly want to have again, emotionally speaking. But at the same time, having those experiences is what we're about. It's being able to try to quantify and understand what those experiences are. So I'm willing to go back and put myself into that situation and see if I can recreate it. Definitely, it's something that I look forward to intellectually, if not emotionally.
Yeah, it's something to achieve, to say the least. Cody and Satori, the sleepy paranormal couple. I know it's been a long day for everybody involved here, but I appreciate it. Anything that you guys have strategized, talked about, said, what if we go this direction this time, or are you just on automatic at this point?
Well, we of course always love bringing individuals kind of back to their senses and kind of using the equipment, but not and Ken's always preached this, not paying 100% attention to that and relying on that 100% of the time, especially now that we know what we know as far as what Satori and I do, trying to bring people back to getting away from that side of things a little bit, and just showing them that maybe if you rely a little bit more on this, even if you don't believe you're sensitive or open to that side of things, just using your senses, just sitting in the room and taking it in and just observing from yourself instead of relying on something else, technology and stuff like that, to see if you actually feel something instead of getting a number on a device or something like that. And a lot of the times when we've done that, it's kind of opened people's minds a little bit, that maybe maybe this is a better approach to this type of investigating. Maybe I should do this more often, at different locations. You may not always get what Satori and I get. You may get something different. Maybe you can visualize things a little bit better, or hear things a little bit better when you're just sitting in a room quietly and relying on yourself. So that's what we always like to kind of teach people or show people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Ken,
I don't get it. Look at these youngins and where they're at. It's just after 8:00 and they're ready for bed. That's how you're starting to get old, right there.
Yeah, it's Jeopardy's coming on. They get home safe so they can come to my house and get a good home cooked meal
and ice cream.
And then we go for ice cream.
There you. That sounds great. What we've been.
I get a private message, you guys, because we have another. I tell you, we have another case coming up, so we got to figure this out. Hey, I got a question that I want to ask.
Well, can I get the last two answers in first, Ken?
Yeah,
we got
go
still
ahead.
Amanda and Jennifer. Okay, let's go ahead and switch to Amanda and your experience going back to the Conjuring house. Any experiences from last time that leads you to alter your style when you go back this time?
Well, there was one time where I had met a few people for the first time, and we sort of just sat there in the basement in the dark and held hands and just sort of visualized, letting the spirit know that we're here and we're welcoming and just like introducing ourselves. We actually saw the bottom of a dress walk by the window in the basement.
Nice.
So I'd like to sort of attempt that again, as well as maybe go outside where she would have been walking, to see where she's coming from.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, keeping on top of it and following up. And that's basically, we talked to Rise Up Paranormal. Predominantly, that's what they do. They go to the paint house and they build on their case based upon prior evidence and experiences. So it's a great tactical way to go about this. Jennifer, do you go back and go, honeys, I'm home?
We always come back and say, hey, spirits. Oh, the dogs are going to start barking here in a second. Sorry. We always come back and introduce ourselves. Not that we have to, because I feel like they know us well enough by now. But we always say we're back, or when we're leaving, we're always. You want to come say hi?
Ooh, we got a special guest.
A special guest.
Either that or there's footsteps.
We get to try whatever we
coming
want.
In.
Come say hello. He's working hard.
Ladies and gentlemen, Grizzly Adams, how are you, sir?
Corey, how you doing?
Not too bad. How you guys doing?
How has your night been so far? What's going on?
Oh, sorry. Just peachy.
Good night so far?
Oh, excellent night. Love giving tours of this place.
Yeah. Hey, listen, thank you guys for making the trip down to the event this year. We appreciate it. It wouldn't be the same without you. So we're looking forward to a real shebang this year.
The invite, seriously.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I think everybody's excited about this. George, I wanted to go to a question. I'm going to open this up specifically to Jen and Corey and to Cody and Satori because of their presence in the house. And then I want to frame it a different way, if I could, to Christopher and Amanda. But the question is, does the house undergo cycles of increased activity around this time of year? So let's just call it the fall, right? Or is that something that's been noticeable? I mean, your own experiences there. Corey, what do you think? I mean, you spend enough time there. Do these things go in cycles? Do they ramp up certain times a year, or not really?
I'll be quite honest with you. I don't think so. I think it's hit or miss throughout the year. I mean, a lot of people just think it's that time of year and automatically they just have they get giddy about it. So the only thing it brings out is the weirdos that try to break onto the property.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I kind of agree with that. The veil is thin. Cody, Satori, I mean, you've been there through a fall season. Is there anything that you've seen that suggests that fall, this time of year, things kind of just take a different turn? Or
I think that it's personally believed that the fall is when, if there is a veil, it is thinner. And I think it's not just because of Halloween or All Hallows Eve. There are many different cultures that celebrate the fall time being a thinning of the veil for even multiple days, like All Spirits Week, things like that, where they believe that the other side can communicate a bit better. I also think people have kind of manifested that with holidays and things like that. They're kind of manifesting this sort of communication with spirit around the fall. So I think it's absolutely possible that it could be a more common time for spirits to try to communicate with the living or be able to communicate a bit more. I think personally at the house, it's always active for us. It's always active. So I'm interested to see this fall if it ramps up more, because I haven't really paid attention much until now. So I want to see what happens going forward.
And from my side, I'm kind of more, leaning on Corey's side of things. I think it depends on, the living energy that's inside of the house.
Yes.
I think it doesn't matter what time of year, it is. Of course, fall, the house. I mean, it's a busy season for anybody who's into this type of thing. Of course, there's more people coming in. There's more tours happening at the house, which means there's more living energy entering that house. And I think the house kind of feeds off of whatever energy is brought into it, and that changes the dynamic, I think, a little bit on the spirit's point of view and the interactions that people get. We found that when a good group of people goes in to investigate, you get good results, and when they have good intentions, you get great results. When they have not so great intentions, or they're more shy and kind of laid back and not really that talkative, then the investigation reflects on that. So I don't think, no matter what time of year it is, I think now, this time of year, I mean, winter, we have takes over most of the year now here in New England. So being this time of year where you can venture outside and stuff like that, there's the land, experience a little bit more than you would say in like January or February. You know what I mean? So this is like the prime time to invest in property.
How do you feel about moving Ocean State from the middle of July to September?
Happier, I think, with the heat wise.
It's not going to be, let me put it this way, it's not going to be as hot as balls as it usually is in the middle of July. So that would be good. Hey, Amanda, moving on to you. We're in a month right now that commemorates an anniversary, something that you've done such a deep dive onto, and that's Lizzie Borden. That story, the case, its history, you've done so much on that. In the time at the Borden house, do anniversaries mean something a little bit more dramatic? Or, like, what do you think about the idea of thinning the veil, the fall? And do you think that has anything to do with the suggestion that we have? Or do anniversaries like August 8th, I want to say, what was the date of the murder?
August 4th.
The 4th, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, my anniversary is the 8th. I get the two confused. But
wedding anniversary, bloody murder, it's a very easy thing to confuse.
Murder, marriage.
It's just like, hey, listen, 41 years of marriage. If any one of us leaves, it's going to be feet first at this point. So I'm not worried about it. Amanda, what do you think? Are there certain times a year that just get your spider sense tingling? Or,
I mean, I think anniversaries are important. As far as the Borden house goes, it's I think the activity is almost less because there's just so many people at the house, and it's sort of a circus. But it actually seemed to have a lot more activity, like in the winter when there are fewer people there interacting. But that's just that house. I mean, I think certainly anniversaries of deaths and things, if people weren't overwhelming the spirits, would be significant. I don't know about the Conjuring movie though. We'll have to see what's that. But
summer blockbuster. Christopher, the greatest, I would argue that the greatest fall story ever written was probably The Legends of Sleepy Hollow.
Not going to get any pushback from me on that one.
No. What is it about the fall that gets everybody so excited? When we do events, say at the Payne House, and we're going to do 2 in October this year, immediately everybody goes to those. Got to be there in October. Got to be. What is it about the fall? Do you think that those kind of stories play into it?
Absolutely. I think it's a perfect storm. I mean, we have the cultural connection. As Story was saying earlier, there are so many cultures all across the world that have this celebration, basically, of spirit, commemoration of death, the harvest time, and the theory that exists in a lot of cultures is that at this time of the year, when you are both harvesting. Basically, the world is dying. The plants are dying. You're harvesting everything, and you're sending all these spirits across that veil from the world of the living into the world of the dead. And the idea is that heavy traffic of life flowing into the afterlife makes it porous and allows things to come back. Now, that's the folklore behind it, and as you all know, folklore is kind of my thing. But there's probably some truth to that idea, because ghosts, spirits, entities, whatever they are still us. They're just not locked in this flesh suit anymore, but the energy is very much the same. And so maybe our attunement to those things is heightened at that time, but it's also heightened because of the cultural connection. We have this absolute love, this love affair, and this fascination with death and spirits and with all the folklore connected to it. So we're not only culturally and emotionally more in tune with it, but in potentially more of that energy is actually able to maybe flow back, through that porous veil. So that's speculation and that's theory, but I think that there's a lot of truth to it. And you also have to imagine that the world is a little more dead at that time of year because there's not so much life taking it up. Again, the slaughtering of animals, which was very common in the autumn and the fall, the winter months. The fact that people who are older or more sickly tended to die during those periods of time when conditions were harsher, and all of these factors basically making space for new energy in the world. So maybe in fact there's some truth, at least some kernel of truth, as there usually is in folklore, to the idea that this is a time when spirit has a little bit of empty space that it can flow back into this world. So yeah, I absolutely believe that there's some aspect of that. I do think that the psychological aspect is a huge part of it too. You and I have had many conversations about this idea, this Eastern idea of the tulpa, which is the idea of our expectations combining together to actually create a new spirit form or sort of manifesting spirit through our own psychology. And I think that maybe a little bit of each of these things all taken together, maybe we're looking at a truth that is a salad bar of many different ideas all taken together. So yeah, I'm a firm believer that fall and winter both are sort of the season of ghosts for a good reason, just not one good reason.
Let's everybody hang on for a second. We have to let Amanda go because early tomorrow morning, she is assisting in a vasectomy, and we want to make sure that poor guy is going to be okay. So we let her get some rest there. So Amanda, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And
keeping it classy, George.
Have a lot of fun at the Conjuring house. I envy you.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
Good night.
Good night, Amanda. I love her. She's great.
I don't know what the hell happened at the Michigan ParaCon, but they're all wiped out. There must have been some drinking I have no idea.
Now, I don't know. It's like, hey, getting back on the top, for those of you who are watching us tonight, this is our Ocean State ParaCon preview show. We bring a lot of our guests on. We thank everybody who is here, has been here, but I wanted to give everybody a little bit of an idea of the inside of this theater where the presentations are going to be held and where we're going to duck out of the rain if it happens. But just a little bit of an idea. Theater was built around 1920, I want to say. And it's a really cool place, very comfortable place. So that's where we're going to be. So come on down and
a lot of good panels and things in there.
Yeah, come on down and get it done. Harrisville, we talked about, is a really nice little village. And what that house, since Corey and Jen made it available, what it's meant to the town. And because I know when we come in there, everybody benefits by it, and we like to bring the local community in, whether it's restaurants or we have a couple of vendors that are going to come in locally, set up little pop-up tents, things like that. And so we like to give a little bit back to the community, because at heart I'm a country guy. It's like I don't even like driving in small cities. I don't like it. So seemed like Harrisville was a good place to have this. Yeah, I'm sorry, but it's not how I was raised. I was at a cookout. I was at a cookout today, and there were 3 chickens running around all over the yard. And all I could think of is like when I was a kid getting yelled at for chasing them. But that's how I have developed my agility, my cat-like agility, by catching chickens. Corey probably knows what I'm talking about. If you were raised that way, you know, you chase chickens and yeah, anyway, but I digress. So, you know, in the last little bit of time, I would like to tell everybody, man, why should they come to this year's Ocean State ParaCon? Other than the idea there's some great, cool people there, outstanding vendors, and a wonderful cause. I want to put this back up again for anybody who's watching that maybe can't come to the event but still would like to contribute. You can do so at tomorrowfund.org. I've spoken with the director there and immediately got such a great vibe from her as far as what they're doing. I mean, they're very appreciative of what we're doing, but you know what? I'm appreciative of what they do as well. So this is one of those events where it's not a corporate event. 100% of the proceeds go to whoever the designated charity is. And what's important about this is that we find local offices, brick and mortar buildings, and when we cut a check, it's hand delivered to them. It doesn't go to a national organization where maybe a state like Rhode Island gets 0.1% of it. It doesn't go to administrative fees or any of that. It goes directly to where they need it. So this is what I mean about doing things in the community, because I've said this forever. You know, in the paranormal field, we like to say we're there to help people. Absolutely true, we should be, but help comes in a lot of different forms. So it's not all about chasing ghosts, it's just trying to do the right thing. So because of all you people, I can't overstate how much you mean to me personally by doing this, to these organizations, everybody from the Wounded Warrior Project to autism to the Tomorrow Fund, everybody we've always tried to help, you know. Thank you very much. You come here on your own dime. Nobody's making any money. Just wonderful that everybody's going to contribute to this. So, you know, I thank you that are going to attend, because I have a feeling this is going to be big this year with everything involved. Conjuring House getting involved this year. That wasn't all, you know, Cody, you know what I'm saying. It wasn't always like that. No. We spent years telling people, don't go there. Whatever you do, listen to me. Listen to me. Don't go there. Why? You will regret it. Why? Is there something demonic there? And I'd be like,
close.
An old lady with a baseball bat.
Not in the biblical sense, no. But and now it's like everybody's, you know, Jen and Corey wrap their arms around everybody, and Jacqueline is now. So, you know, fantastic to have all of this together. So thank you all.
Thank you for having us.
You know, no further questions from me. The defense rest. Let's see.
I got a question.
Go ahead, George. You ask a question. Bail me out of this.
Invisible George.
The paranormal couple ever check their text messages? I just wonder if I send them there.
Well, when we have a connection, I'm surprised we were able to even get on this show right now.
Yeah, you guys, this the choppiest I've ever seen of your camera, Cody. It's always like spot on.
We're in the middle of nowhere. We can throw a rock and hit Canada right now. So we are literally in the middle of nowhere.
I'm in Tiverton, Rhode Island. What's your excuse? Corey's in Harrisville. We're all in the middle of nowhere.
I've got a hurricane.
Yeah, we're pretty all in here.
That's fine. This is a question in chat that all of you, I think, for the most part, with maybe, I don't know, at least for those guys who've been there multiple times, besides the food truck at the ParaCon, do any of you have a favorite restaurant close by?
Yes, there's a bunch.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's start. Let's start with Corey, since you lived there for those many years. Corey, favorite restaurant?
Wright's Farm by far.
Wright's Farm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Nice.
I'll keep that in mind.
You got
Cody
thrown-
Satori, you were
George,
nodding your
wait,
head
whoa,
immediately.
Whoa, wait, George, you got thrown out of there. Remember?
Oh no, I walked out, sir.
This is
You
a true.
refused to walk in the door.
This is a true story. I've never seen anybody at Wright's Farm. It's a Rhode Island staple. How dare you, sir? How dare you?
You got to have this. You can't have these options. You got to have. I said, no, it's not what I want.
Hence the name, Wright's Chicken Farm.
I didn't have any rights. None.
Oh,
Cody
I remember that.
Satori. Yeah. He's having a bad day.
So,
Oh, I want to say one.
why? Okay. I really like Tavern on Main. I really like that one because it's
Well, in
haunted.
walking distance, I love the taco stop.
The
shop.
taco shop
Stop.
and
Waterfall Cafe
Waterfall
across the street.
Cafe is really good.
Nico's has good subs.
Jeez, give other people a chance.
All right.
Oh. Christopher, for you and those visits there, did you find a place you enjoyed?
Sorry, got cut out there for a moment. I don't have a favorite restaurant in the immediate Harrisville area. When I've been up there for the ParaCons, usually it's been a hit and run situation where as soon as the ParaCon is over, I have to run. So and usually the places across the street are crazy busy. So other than stopping at the pizza place that's on the far side of the parking lot, I haven't really had too many opportunities to eat in the immediate Harrisville area. But I can tell you that I know there's a couple of great little restaurants right across the way, and that small town vibe is all there. So I can't imagine you get anything but a great meal. But usually I'm halfway to Connecticut by the time dinner time strikes. So,
Yeah, those of you who are coming from outside of New England, you just can't compare. You just can't compare. It's something different in the water. It makes the food fantastic. And Ken, I left the last to you. Any particular ones?
Taco shop.
Mm-hmm.
That's
The
a
best
big one. Get. I suggest pork belly taco.
Yes.
I gave that a shot, and I can't quit it now. The
Sounds good to
Waterfall
me.
Cafe, right across the street. That's usually where you'll find me at the bar on Sunday. As soon as the bell rings and we're done, I'll be lined up with about 4 beers in front of me, possibly a shot of something. Tavern on Main is good. There's a pizza joint just down the street.
That's Nico's. Yeah.
It's great. The food trucks we have, the Grub Guru, which is Asian fusion. And on Sunday we have gorditos. They're not like New York chopped cheese, sort of like Philly cheese steaks, short rib
chopped
cheese.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So something a little bit different than, throwing hot dogs and hamburgers on. But that's what I mean by, the local community. I mean, they love it. Why not? We'll do it up. Did I mention I'd be at the bar?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Which, again, I feel very special because Ken decided that one event year that I was there to forego the bar and go right to his garage and drink Onyx moonshine. And then have us drunk dial Satori's father. It was interesting. But for those of you that are going to be, go ahead.
Okay, the story is Taps, which technically I'm still a part of. We investigated a distillery, Cody. You remember that?
Yeah.
So the owner offered everybody bottles of Onyx moonshine.
Wow.
So somebody didn't want theirs, so I took 2. And then somebody else didn't want theirs, so I took 3. So I ended up with 3 bottles of Onyx moonshine. George was staying at my house. Went out in the garage. It was raining. So we sat out there just sipping moonshine, upon which he decided to drunk dial Jason Hawes at one point.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yep. That's fun.
Since
That
then,
place-
he's never talked to me again.
Remember the whole speakeasy that place had? And that's the only place that Seth MacFarlane orders his moonshine from. They ship it to him wherever he is around the country.
You remember
I am
that?
Gotta love Seth.
I'm a big fan of investigating more distilleries and craft beer places. Big fan.
Just for the extras.
Bakeries and donut shops too. Totally.
Yeah.
Find
So
me
in
a
answer
haunted
to that
donut shop and I'll
question,
be
there's a plethora of different places you guys can go while you're there. Certainly, Google it and pick your preference of whatever particular food you're looking for, and I'm sure you'll find something delicious in that area. Get this one last question, and also, has anything followed anyone home from visiting or living in the Conjuring house? Anyone?
Not for us. No, I think they like it
Not
there.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all
I
the
think that
spirits
they're pretty bound to the house, I'd say.
Yeah, they really love it there.
What about the transients? Because there are transients, we know that. People bring their own spirits with them, kind of like what Ken did with the Onyx.
Exactly. Well, yeah, I think
Onyx Moonshine. Where the hell was that? It was in Connecticut, right?
That was Connecticut. Yes,
that was Connecticut. Chris, you live in Connecticut. Onyx Moonshine. Hook us up.
I do. I'll see what I can do. Might have to find a couple bottles for myself. So
I'll
I,
pass.
by the way, just off topic here. I'm thrilled that we are returning to Harrisville. I'm not a big city fan myself, and casinos don't really do much for me. God bless the Plainville Casino there for hosting us, but being back and being able to be outside for the event. Thrilled that we're doing it in September when it's not going to be crazy hot. I'm an autumn boy myself. I was born in January. I have ice water in my veins. I don't do so well with heat, but I am absolutely thrilled that we are back in Harrisville and doing it in the sort of on the cusp of autumn. So I think it's going to be a great event.
Yeah,
Jason can bring you some from Connecticut. Jason, do you use premium gasoline in your car? Because if you don't, you can also use the Onyx Moonshine to get you home.
Yeah. And I'll pass on that offer because the next time around, Jason will just give me a restraining order. Stay away from him, not to make those calls anymore.
You friggin' lightweights.
I can't take it. That was bad. No hangover though. That's a great thing about moonshine. No hangover at all. Jennifer is out of the picture.
Sometimes
Corey's still there with us, but Corey, what is it like? Is it like being in a relationship? The relationship ends, and now you go back and see them in a new relationship, that house, or does it still feel like home to you?
Oh, it's always going to feel like, the people I work with, the spirits. I mean, it's a big family here. So, I mean, stop making hand signals. Good Lord.
You know what I wanted to ask you guys, because you're there a lot, right? I pop in once in a while, just to annoy everybody. But you have seen like what Jacqueline has done to the property, right? Whether it's the barn, the tents, the trailer. What's that been like to see this kind of thing just sort of happen? Like, you just show up one day and there's an oil well on the property or something,
Honestly, it's what needed to happen here.
Yeah.
I mean, it needed a business person, because we were just investigators, and we didn't have the savvy to do that. And I mean, the ideas that Jacqueline's came up with, along with Cody and Satori and everybody else, it's amazing. And I mean, it's just more opportunities that people won't ever have unless like she opened up like those ideas and allowed those ideas to go through. So
yeah, love it. Chris, leave us. Chris, say goodnight.
Yeah, well, no, he was breaking up though too. I think that, again, there's a lot of connection issues going on right now. But
all right, we're closing the bar again. That's all right.
Yeah, we're down to about 5 minutes anyway. So, I wanted to tell, unless you didn't or you did already, Ken, tell Cody and Satori when you guys were out last. I'm not sure if it was the Payne House or residential, and the name Chris came up. Did he explain all of that to you yet?
Yeah, he told us. That was crazy.
Everything, yeah.
That was crazy.
I didn't expect anything. I just spoke aloud, asked Amanda to bring him there, And then all of a sudden, Ken sends me a text, just some name Chris. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Which again rolls into more ideas I have for you guys. Like you don't have enough on your plate already. I even saw something on Facebook. Somebody sent you a video of an accident. Somebody had just recently died. I don't know what that was about, but it corners you over time. While you were just up there at this Paragon, the Paracon in the Upper Peninsula, were there strange requests like that also? And did some of it come from people we know? Did you have a Dakota Laden conference where they said, hey, I know what you're doing. Can we try this? Anything like that come around?
We had a couple people come up to us and things, and we had to keep reiterating that we can't really promise anything, things like that. But just know that your family is always around you. We've had people come up to us. We actually did have, project here come up to us and say they want to talk to us about it and things next time we're free or together or when they're around or in town. So so a couple people are very interested. And
one thing I noticed is, when our first time we ever did this on an episode, it definitely was a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people, because seeing it on a screen is much different than seeing it in person. But now that we're definitely a bunch of episodes into doing it, the response is much different now that people have seen it at different locations. And of course, we always direct them to YouTube because there's uncut stuff at air, and which they're enjoying that as well. So we had a lot of people come through the line that were just very interested in what we do, and saying how different it was, and of course telling stories about loved ones that have passed on and how it's made them feel a lot better about their situation, that they're okay. Just seeing a video of us helping somebody else has helped them out, which really makes us feel really good. There hasn't been one negative word that we've heard, at least this weekend, which is great.
Amazing. You guys get starstruck at all this weekend?
No, I don't think we did.
No.
I think Jack Osborne was starstruck to see us.
Oh, stop it. No, he's a great guy to meet. It was great to see a lot of the people that we're friends with. It was mostly we get to see friends and we get to meet people that have really wanted to meet us, and think it's funny because one of the biggest comments we've gotten from people that were visiting was when they came up to us and they're like, I just want to say it's great to meet you in person and know that you guys are the same way in person or even nicer than you look on camera. And I'm like, well, that's so nice to hear. I'm glad that I don't come off like some rude or like, horrible person.
Did they take you for ice cream?
No. They did not. They did not. That's true.
That's right. That's true. When they were in St. Augustine, it didn't even cross my mind. My apologies.
Well, when you guys get back safe, so we'll go back to the Moose Cafe.
Yeah, that place
we hope we get back safe.
The best ice cream.
Yep. We are all out of time. I can only say from a mere spectator that I wish you guys the best of luck at this upcoming event. It's 2 weeks away, and that means get as much rest as you possibly can, because I know it's going to be a whirlwind weekend. Ken, you want to close us out with more promotion and how people can attend?
Yeah. Here's the event, September 9th and 10th, the Assembly Theater in Harrisville, Rhode Island. We are celebrating the 10th anniversary, not only of the Ocean State ParaCon, but of the movie, The Conjuring, as well. So here are the guests that are going to be there. And one final time, if you want to get advance tickets, you can go to riseupparanormal.com/ParaCon, HTM. You get them, go to a will call window. We'll have your name, go in there. But it's important to mention that tickets are available at the admissions table, not only for the ParaCon, but for the movie on Saturday night as well. And tours of the Conjuring House, you can go to conjuringhouse.com and see if they're available. That I can't promise you, because that went pretty quick. And again, our thanks to everybody who came on tonight that's going to be there. Our guest, Jacqueline, for sponsoring this entire thing. Amazing. I just have that feeling with the advanced sales. This is going to be a humdinger.
And it will. Hang in there with us, guys. That's all that we have for you guys tonight. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, the thumbs up for tonight's programming, and the reminder bell for upcoming content. On behalf of Ken DaCosta, my name is George Lopez. You guys have a great night. We'll see you next week. Take care.